You've been able to parlay your interest in art to a career. How easy or difficult was that early on? And so many artists don't become artists because they don't think they can do it. How did you do it?
My daughter asked me this because she's an artist, and I told her the best thing you could do is start with business. So I said, you know, to her, you have to finish your business courses and do 4 years of business, and then, you know, develop. She's been developing her art anyway, but, and I think that's the best advice I can give. It's, if you want to be an artist, you can do it for the heart, but if you want to do it as a business, you have to sort of think as a business person. I don't know if I'm the best, but I've been running my own business for many, many years, and a lot of it is just using a lot of common sense and a lot of PR and talking to people, and it's very hard, but it is possible to do, and there's so many kids coming out of art school, and I think the important thing to do is to have some basic knowledge of business, because it can be really bad for a lot of artists. You know, they're just not into the, you know, well, gee, I have to sell this, you know. It's,
Did you ever think you'd be working this hard?
I'm working harder every year.
I know.
And the more popular my work is becoming, and the more big events that I'm taking on and more projects, the harder it is. I'm working on, right now, a project with American Airlines. I'm doing Terminal 8 in New York at JFK. And it's going to be decorated with a lot of my artwork. And there's quite a few pieces up now, and I'm working on this huge, huge mural. And I have a couple of local artists that are sort of helping me with some cutting and so forth. And I said, well, how do you get from here to there? And I was like, well, it's a lot of building. One thing builds on another through the years, and it's taken me 30 years.
Right, exactly. People just think it just happens.
It just doesn't.
You've met some and done work for some interesting people. Why don't you share some of the projects you worked on that you thought were kind of unique and cool?
There's just so many that I've been working on.
Clinton, you've done some work with the Clintons.
Yeah, I've done work for the Clintons. I've done artwork for the U.S. Open. I met Secretary of State there, and she's been very good and loves my work. And so I did artwork like in a poster and program cover for the U.S. Open at that time. And I've done work for President Clinton when he was opening up his library, posters to raise money for that. Rosie O'Donnell was very instrumental when she had her show. She had me on quite a few times, and I did desks and all sorts of projects for her, again back to charity, her White Rose Award galas, and I met the Gateses and met all these big influential people who have bought my artwork through the years through a lot of these charity events. Michael Jordan spent $250,000 on a huge piece that I did for Rosie's event, and then Rosie topped it off with another $250,000. Piece was $500,000 raised for their charity.
You had to make a second one, or you had made both of them?
No, it was one big one, and she doubled the
oh, okay, gotcha.
The donation. So a lot of these famous people who have been buying my work, many of them have bought them through charities and through art auctions. Yeah.
Here we go. Now, is this one of the books you've released?
This is my 7th book that I've come out with. I've done a couple of pop-out books. I did a pop-out children's book 2 years ago. And this is my most recent book, but actually it's already close to being sold out. I have a new book that comes out in August. And each book that I come out with every 2 or 3 years sort of is a snapshot of something that I've been doing in that period of 3 years. And it's also sort of an entree into how I started or how the process is made. Each book has been depicting some part of the process.
This is you as a kid?
Yeah, that's me at the White Plains Outdoor Art Show in 1970s, I don't know, something, with my early little tiny paintings.
And they said it couldn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And those are all the events for Grammy Awards. I've been doing the artwork for Daytime Emmy Awards for the past 5 years, posters and program covers.
Wow.
So I do part of the commercial end, but I also do the fine art end.
Right. Do you ever, and I don't know how the copyright works, but do you ever convey the copyright to your client? How does that work?
If I do a Disney piece or a Warner Brothers piece, it'll always have on the bottom corner of the posters that it's, you know, that they own the copyright or I own the copyright.
Okay.
We always acknowledge
What
that.
have you done with Disney?
I've been working with Disney for 18 years, constantly using their library of characters. The newest piece is one that I brought today.
Oh, sure.
And it's all the Disney characters, the whole library of Disney characters in this particular piece. I think the only ones I didn't use was Mulan because it was a balloon out here and I had to cut it off.
Oh, okay.
But everything else that I could think about, all my favorite Disney movies as kids and recent ones I've depicted in this piece. And it's just a collage of everyone. They're all in hot air balloons, sort of flying around different Disney landscapes.
And where is this sold?
They're sold in art galleries
Art galleries.
everywhere.
Wow.
Yep.
Are you the only artist that gets this sort of access to the characters?
There was an artist, Yamagata, that was doing some Disney work many years ago. I think there's a couple of artists. Nobody really uses the characters in this way. And I don't know if they use as many characters in a piece. I know that there's a couple of artists that just does Pinocchio or just does, you know.
What
And
is something like this sell to?
This is around 4,000 framed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And they're all hand cut out and hand embellished.
Wow. We just have a minute or so left. What's next? I mean, you know, you're a young guy, so you got many more years ahead of you. What's next for you?
As I said, my focus has been on doing shows and getting my work into more museums. So I think that will be my focus and is my focus, and also doing big projects, you know, like the American Airlines project that I'm doing at JFK and other projects that I've been taking on that are, I love to be challenged, and I love taking my work and making it huge and big. It really translates very well to any size. And it's been fun working on these projects because I'm doing these huge, huge pieces. And the cutouts that are on these pieces are like this small, but when you're cutting them, they're this big. It's like, you know, it really is amazing to see. And the impact when they're huge is just enormous.
I know you've worked with a few presidents, but has any of your work hung in the White House?
You know, I don't know.
Okay.
I know that Obama posters that we did for the President's Challenge were sent over to the White House. I don't know if
they've been hung. Well,
you know, it would be nice to hear that.
That'd be a cool challenge, right?
Yeah, a lot of the other presidents will have my work, so it would be wonderful.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It was really an honor.
you.
Good luck in all that you do, and hopefully I'll see you on the road soon.
Great.
Thank you very much. Charles Fazzino, international artist, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time.